Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's Skype Goldbridge, it's Skype United Stand, but let me tell you, we're doing it slightly differently tonight. Instead of you just coming on and saying what you want to think, which you can do, there's three topics I really want to get into. First of all, how long can Jose Mourinho last as Manchester United manager if these results continue? Obviously, I would give him 2 years. Is that too long? So I want to know what you lot think. And let's just say, obviously, if he starts winning, he's here as long as he wants. But what if we can't? What if we continue to draw? What if we don't win any cups? What if we don't get top four? What if we don't get Champions League football in the summer? What if next season starts like this season? How long would you give him? Because some people would get rid of him now, which is ridiculous. But there we go. The second thing: no Memphis, no Schneiderlin in the Europa League squad. If they're not in that, what chance have they got? So I want to know what you think about that. Give us your thoughts on that. Are they finished? I have my thoughts on that. And thirdly, January is not too far away. It is, in fact, nearly 3 weeks before the transfer window opens. So I want to know what sort of players you think we should be signing. Because some people think we don't need a right back. But let's go and get the live comments open up first. And then we'll get our first guests on. It's Skype Mark Goldbridge, as you should know. Mark Goldbridge is the name, not Mike. He won't be very happy. Get Skyping in and give us your thoughts. Hopefully our first guest should be able to hear me. Let's see if they can. No, it's not working. Okay, so we'll go straight to Jacob. Jacob, can you hear me? Well, we've had a cracking start on the Skype. Brilliant. Okay, let's try Ziad. Ziad, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mark, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you, pal?
Not too bad. All right, so I just want to go back to what you were saying about Mourinho and how long you think he will last.
Okay.
First of all, we have to remember something. We, as Manchester United fans, we are arguably, no, not even, we are the most supportive fan base in world football. We can't, I want to say something to all those people who are going Jose out at this point. To all those people who are Jose out, you are tarnishing our reputation as Man United fans. And you're just making a laughingstock out of us in the arena of the football world. Also, I think it's way too early to judge Mourinho at this point. It's only December. The man has been here for 3 months. And quite honestly, he's inherited a load of crap. He can't turn that into gold in practically... I'd hope he can do it by the end of the season, but it would be a really, really big ask. We have to at least give him some time, at least 2 years. And people, you have to keep in mind, if we sack Mourinho, who else out there is going to be able to take this job? He is the best manager in world football. Like, there's literally no one else better for this job.
Ziad, can I just ask you, if I give you a scenario then, because I have to be even-handed. Everyone knows my opinion on Mourinho. I do back him. But let's just say that, I admit, we all know we've been unlucky. Unlucky is the wrong word. We've not finished games off. We're not mentally strong enough. That's not necessarily down to the manager. Like you, I sort of agree that there's a lot of crap in the squad, and that's not bought by him. But imagine if the results continued like this, and we ended up finishing 8th. We don't win the Europa League because the results aren't good enough. So we're in the summer. We finished 8th in the league. We're not in the Champions League. We're not winning the Europa League. What would you still be happy to keep him?
Here's why I stand about that. If we somehow still have a really shit league form and we don't manage to win the Europa League, I think we can go far in the Europa League. But I have this sincere feeling that we're not going to be able to win it, especially in the latter stages. You start getting some really good European sides. Okay, if we were put in that situation, I think there's one positive if we were. The upcoming season after that, I would absolutely guarantee that Jose would be able to win that title. It's a massive, massive advantage not having Europa League. And frankly, he, by that time, would have had 2 more transfer windows to fix up the squad and build the squad that he really wants to work with. So without a doubt in my mind, I would absolutely still keep him.
Yeah, I'm very, very pleased that you said that because it wasn't a trick question. That would be where I would be. I'd be thinking, you know what? I think for me, and obviously you're the same, if we continued getting these results until the summer and we finished 8th in the league and we didn't get into the Europa League, I'd be quite positive about next season because he'd have a whole summer to get rid of people and get the players in he wants. So for me, he gets at least 2 years because I think the football's better than it was under Van Gaal.
Yeah. There's one negative though, Mark, that I would take if we did not end up in the Champions League or any European football. I find it would be a lot tougher to get the big signings that we would like to achieve over the winter and the summer transfer window if we did not have any European football. The likes of Varane, James Rodriguez, all those kinds of players, I doubt that they'd be willing to come to Man United unless it was European football was included.
Yeah, I would sort of agree with that. I really would. Thanks for calling, Ziad. Really good call. Not had you on for a couple of weeks, but thanks for calling in.
All right, cheers, Mark.
Cheers, pal. Thank you. Get calling in. Mark Goldbridge is the name on Twitter, on Skype. Sorry, I know a few of you were calling. We're a bit quiet at the moment, so we'll go to the live comments. I'm about to make a new Skype account now. I want to really call Mark, says Indie Tagger. A great call. Common sense prevails, says Kev McGee. Yep, Ziad was very good. If we lose faith in Jose, who do we turn to? Says free kicks for life. I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted, says Louise. God knows what she's doing. And Gary Paul, Moyes wasn't given a fair chance. Sack Mourinho. Two bad points in one sentence, Gary. Well done. There's loads coming in. I'm just trying to be fair. There's somebody who I know tried to get in loads on Monday. I have seen his name, but it's not there at the moment. So, but I will keep an eye out for him. Let's try Ash. Ash, can you hear me?
How are we, sir?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate.
Good. What did you want to say?
Well, just 1 or 2 points. I thought maybe first of all, if I can do a cheeky little plug for the United Stand podcast.
You can, yeah.
Being as we're here, I'm a co-host of the United Stand podcast along with Paul Gardner. It goes up every Wednesday morning. So, every one of the fans, every one of the comments, please get downloading, support the podcast. We create some fantastic content, and we're always looking for your input as well. And then maybe 1 or 2 points for yourself, Mark, and also, of course, the fans. First thing that came to mind was the January transfer window. I mean, we're not usually one to talk about transfers because we all know what the media speculation is and paper talk and so on. But, looking realistically now, the January transfer window is fast approaching. So who do you think then that, is a realistic target for us and, who's attainable? Okay, we look at the likes of Griezmann and things like that, maybe as a summer signing, fingers crossed, something of that caliber. But in terms of January, where do you think we need to strengthen and who are the possible players we could get?
You've just reminded me of something very quickly. I didn't say it at the start. We've got a nice little treat for you, which I'll give you at the end, how you can get your hands on a free Manchester United retro shirt. You can get the 99 one, 85. There's an away top in there, and I think there's an 83 with the sharp electronics on. So everybody can get one of those. I'll tell you at the end. George Carl says, great choice for the podcast. Yep, lovely Welsh tones of Ash. Do download the podcast. I'll put the link in the video description, but it's on the United Stand website, and I tweet it out every morning. I'll be tweeting it out later. So yeah, do that. Fantastic work from Paul and Josh. Transfers, I'm not going to let Josh get off easy because he can tell me who he thinks, but I would say it's going to be a centre-back. I did think right-back. I thought Seamus Coleman played very well for Everton last week, and I'm a big fan of his, but I think Valencia has sort of pinned that down, so I don't think we'll get a right-back. Obviously, people like Griezmann and Rodriguez and that lot are unrealistic. Fabinho, unrealistic. I think it'll be a centre-back. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be Jose Fonte, which bleeds lovely into you, Ash, and what do you think about Fonte?
I mean, you look at the time. You look at Jose Fonte. Although he's a decent centre back, but you got to think age-wise. Okay, he's experienced in the Premier League and he's had a decent season, especially the last couple of months. But for me, he's just although we need experience, we've got young centre backs coming through. But I think we should be looking for someone of a bit better calibre, I think, than in terms of Jose Fonte. I mean, you look at even Van Dijk. I mean, I prefer Van Dijk to Font. There's other names being thrown around such as Rudiger, and I think Lindelof was the other one. I mean, I think we should be targeting more sort of young talent, maybe who we can bring through the ranks. And we've got some experienced heads in the squad now, so I think maybe I don't want to spend stupid money in January on someone who's 32, 33 years old. We're maybe going to get a season or two out of, and that's it. I'd rather invest in youth, but still experienced youth, and bring them through the side, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just to let people know if they don't know, I mean, I did say this in the summer. I mean, I'm not really going to talk massively about my opinion. I'm just going to throw stats at you. Jose Fonte, I think he's 32 now. Spent most of his prime 20 years playing in League 2 and then League 1. And also we need, for me, and I'll throw this back to Josh now as to who he thinks we should go for. I think we need a centre-back who's dominant in the air. Jose Fonte, whether you like him or not, he's not dominant in the air. Zlatan put him in the net with the ball in August, and people say, well, Zlatan will put anybody in the net. He wouldn't put Vidic in the net. A good centre-back who's good in the air won't be bullied even by Zlatan. We need, for me, a centre-back who is dominant in the air, not just in our box, but to make us a threat from corners. Manolas is the man for me. I don't think we can do it, so I'd be looking at the likes of Van Dijk, like you said, Howard is at Schalke, Jimenez, if we can get him from Atletico Madrid, and there's another lad I forget. I mean, Lindelof I'm not sure about, but at least he's quite good in the air.
The one thing I like about Lindelof is he's good with the ball at his feet, and I think that's something we've been missing ever since that Vidic-Ferdinand partnership, because although Vidic was such a battler, he got stuck in, there was no messing, I don't think he was the most able with the ball at his feet. And you look at someone, you partner him with someone like Rio Ferdinand, who was just consummate class, could pick a pass from anywhere. So I think maybe someone to partner Bailly in the middle of that defence, possibly, that I think that would be good for us, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. And somebody's saying that Fonte's 33. You know what? If Jose signs Fonte, we'll see. I would back him, because I do think Mourinho knows what he's doing, especially with centre-backs. But it's not the one for me for the same reasons Ash has said there. Look, I could speak to you all day, Ash. Please do come on. Please do come on again, but we've got to get through loads of guests. Thanks for coming on. We will get you on a watch-along or something like that for sure.
Yeah.
And everybody do get involved with the podcast. But thanks for coming on, Ash.
Thank you.
Cheers, pal.
Ta-da.
Nice to get him on first, because he's always doing the podcast with Paul, so it's great to get him as part of the United stand. Really good. Okay, let's have a look at some of the live comments. Lindelof is not good enough for United, in my opinion, says Dip Topify. Dip Top Tiffy. Yeah, I agree. And I've heard that from Swedish. We've got a lot of Swedish followers, and I've heard that from them as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't go far with that. Nick, can you hear me?
I can, yes. Hello.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
Very well, thank you, Mark. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah. Was there anything specific you wanted to talk about, or do you want me to throw a question at you?
With the centre-backs, I'm with you, and I want Jimenez, personally.
He played at the weekend, I think, for Atletico Madrid, because I thought he'd only played 2 games this season, and then I got a right rollicking off some La Liga expert saying that he's been injured a lot this season, which I can't clarify whether that's true or not, but apparently he did play at the weekend, which probably means the deal that we thought we could do may not be done. But like you, I do like him.
Yeah, no, I haven't really seen much of La Liga this season, unfortunately. Being at uni, I haven't really had access to it. So, but no, I do like him. I think he is good. But with Mourinho, I looked at what he did with Chelsea for when he was there, and it took him then about 3 or 4 transfer windows to get the team he really wanted as well. Look at Matic. Nemanja Matic was one of their best players the year they won the league. I think they got him in like a January transfer window, I think.
Yeah, Matic was January, yeah.
I think he looked at the team after the first year, thought we needed a striker who can score goals, and 2 midfielders, one to break up play and one to create chances. Ended up getting Costa, Fabregas, and Matic, and it made their team just so much better. So I'm looking forward to seeing who we could potentially get in January. And also the summer. I think the summer is going to be big for us. I think even if we don't have Champions League football of some sort, Man United is such a big name. Like we got Di Maria, like when we finished 7th after Moyes, we were an absolute mess of a club back then. We got so many players then. So I don't think for Manchester United, unlike other teams, not having Champions League football won't affect it as much. Personally,
well, we showed that in the summer, didn't we? I mean, you just got Pogba and Zlatan as well, and you're spot on. Di Maria, Falcao, people like that. We definitely can do it. I don't know. I mean, it's something that we'll probably look at in the next few weeks, depending on how far we are off Champions League football. But I'm sure there's some issue with the Adidas deal if we're not in it for 2 years in a row. But we'll have to look into that. What I want to ask is, obviously, Europa League squad is out and in Ukraine, playing Zoya tomorrow night. Join us for that watch along. We'll be live at 5 with the team news. But no Memphis, no Schneidlin. Now, they weren't involved on Sunday in the Everton squad. They're not involved in the Europa League squad. I mean, that is dire. The rumours are that they've been told, well, Memphis has been told for a number of weeks apparently, but Schneidlin has been told as well, you're not part of Jose's plans. You can start looking for another club, whether that's a loan in January, and then you go in the summer. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's the right thing, or does that leave you feeling a little bit sad?
With Memphis, when we signed him, it was I I was delighted. I watched him a few times that season for PSV. To be fair, I thought I saw he was a strong player. He was direct, fast. He was a typical, like, Dutch schooled wingers are the best wingers for me in the past. So I thought he would have been perfect for us. And at the start, I think he played quite well. And then I think ever since Luke Shaw got that injury, he didn't seem to be the same again. I don't know what impact Luke Shaw had on him, whether that was big or not, but he just didn't seem to play the same again. Morgan Schneiderlin, when we got Mourinho, I actually thought he'd be perfect for Mourinho. I compared him with Nemanja Matic in some ways, just the way they play, their physicality. And I thought he would be the perfect midfielder for Mourinho. Obviously, he hasn't worked out that way. He didn't seem to like him that much. So I don't know. If he's not Mourinho's player, obviously, what I say with Mourinho, he knows more than us in terms of what happens in the training grounds. What they see is a lot more than what we see. He's obviously seen something in both of them that he doesn't seem to like much, or that he obviously prefers Fellaini for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah, it's a good point. I mean, how Fellaini gets in the Europa League squad tomorrow after what he did on Sunday, and Schneiderlin doesn't. I mean, Schneiderlin must have, God knows what he's done, but it must be pretty bad. I mean, on the Memphis thing, what I would say is, I think Memphis is a big time Charlie. Now, that's, I know people like Memphis. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You can be a big time Charlie, and you can be a David Ginola sort of player. There's loads, Cantona, whatever, and back it up with the skills and the ability. I think, unfortunately, Memphis, for whatever reason, hasn't been able to do that. And I think you're right, though. I mean, even Van Persie was a Dutch winger, but Robben, people like that. But they're all hard-working professionals, and I think that is what Memphis lacks. I think he's a big-time Charlie, but that's my thoughts. But
seems to have a bad attitude. From what I think when we signed him a few years ago, one of my friends said that apparently he had a bad attitude. I didn't know much about it at the time, but it's obviously shown.
Yeah, I remember it when we signed him. Where are you calling from, Nick?
At the moment, Southampton, but I'm originally from Gloucester. I'm just down here for university at the moment.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in. I think it's your first time, is it?
It is, yeah. I've been watching the United stand ever since we got Schweinsteiger, actually. I think I saw the video when we signed him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh.
One of the best I've ever done.
The excitement was unreal.
But thanks for calling in, and please do call again. Really good call.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, pal. We're blessed tonight. I'm not saying Monday was bad, but we are blessed tonight with some fantastic callers. So keep them coming in. I really do want to know what you think about Schneiderlin and Memphis. I suspect some fans might be quite frustrated. I'm frustrated about the Schneiderlin one, not because I think we should keep him, but just because I can't understand how Fellaini can basically rape us on Sunday and take points from us, and then Schneiderlin doesn't even get a look in the Europa League. I don't want to see Marouane Fellaini even in a Manchester United training top. There's nothing he can do to make me change my mind. I've been consistent for 3... See, I've snapped there because of Fellaini. 3 years I've disliked him in a Manchester United shirt. I bet he'll play tomorrow, and I bet he'll play well, and everyone will be going, oh yeah, give Fellaini a chance, and he'll do the same thing he did to Everton because he's a shit footballer. It will happen again. I swear when I talk about Fellaini, I don't like it. Let's take a guest. Get really angry. Just before I do though, there's some few live comments I just wanted to read out. I'm from... No. Somebody was on about Rudiger anyway. We're not going to get Rudiger from Roma. It's never going to happen. And somebody said about how it is... My live comments has whizzed by when I normally pause it. How it is the captain of Schalke, so that won't happen either. Which is probably fair. Which is probably a fair point, to be honest. Loads of people calling in. Thank you. Great. That's good. I'm just having a look. There is somebody I promised I would get on tonight, and they haven't been on before. But let's try this. Rory, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay. What was it you wanted to say, Rory?
Just wanted to say that I think that the game, the game tomorrow, it should really be a rollover. I think Fosu Mensah should maybe come in at right back, and I think that we should I think the probably one of the most positive things that we saw from him is that he's not bringing Memphis, and he's also not bringing Carrick, which I quite liked, because I wouldn't have liked seeing Carrick going all the way to Ukraine, especially with an important match against Spurs at the weekend.
Yeah, really good points. I've totally forgotten about that. Brilliant about Fosu Mensah. I hope he will play it right back. I mean, do you think he will? Some people have said Ashley Young.
to be honest, like I've seen a couple of things saying linking Ashley Young with clubs like West Ham and other clubs like that. And to be honest, I wouldn't be totally rejected about that. But I just think that he shouldn't. Like I don't know. He was good for I forget what game he came in the Premier League, but he came in for one game, and I think it was against Liverpool actually, and it was kind of like a park the bus kind of Man United, kind of hit them on the counter attack and hope that we can score a goal and just play really defensive, which he did his defensive part really well, but he doesn't really he's getting old now, he's up there in age, and I don't really like seeing him in the team. I prefer fellas like, I think Daley Blind should be playing left back. Maybe tomorrow give him a chance. Maybe probably against Spurs as well, because that's who I think really should be playing left back.
Yeah, Coco's back for anybody who wanted that. There's no Darmian at right back in the squad. There's no Luke Shaw in the squad, and there is no Valencia in the squad. So right back really does look like it will be between Fosu Mensah and Ashley Young, which is interesting. Memphis, obviously, we spoke about. Just ask you very quickly before you go, in relation to Jose Mourinho, is there a point where you'd be thinking, if results went bad, would you be looking at changing them in the summer, or are you one of those people who'd like to give him as long as it takes?
No, I think that Jose, I think that obviously the brand, I think last season we were like, oh yeah, look at Louis van Gaal, he's for the last 3 whatever seasons he was in, I think that we were all giving out, oh look at the boring football, and we win by 1 goal every single game, and then we just play defensive for most games, and we were always complaining about that, and now we're all complaining about, oh, the football's good, but we're not getting the results, which I think is a flip, that we're playing quite well, and just really to see maybe him bring in, because he's brought in Eric Bailey, who's obviously he's our number 1 centre back at the club, regardless of what anyone says. Eric Bailey is the best centre back we have at the club at the moment. He's brought in Ibrahimovic for free, really just an experienced signing. Maybe Rashford or other players can learn off him. And he's put in a few goals as well, so he's kind of helped us in that regard. And then he's also brought in Paul Pogba, which people are saying, oh yeah, Paul Pogba, he's not doing anything. And I think it was the French manager, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but he came out and he said, oh yeah, Paul Pogba, he won't win any Ballon d'Ors because he doesn't score goals. What he is best at is collecting the ball in his own half, bringing it up forward, linking players into the play, and playing little balls through, like the one that Ibrahimovic scored there the other night, where he just chipped it through and he hit it straight into the back of the net. So I think that the signing, and Mkhitaryan as well, I forgot about, he's gone through a rough patch there at the start, but he's come on leaps and bounds, and I think that those 4 players, and when I know he's going to bring in some young centre back or something, he's going to bring in a player that everyone's going to be like, oh my god, brilliant signing again by Jose. And I think he just needs this year, and once he has this year, I think he'll have his team, and he'll get rid of all the players like Phil Jones and especially Rojo. Like Rojo, what is he doing playing centre back? I'd rather see someone like 18-year-old or anyone else other than Rojo playing back there, even though I don't know, Jose likes him or something, but
CB would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, he's gone. Oh dear. Don't know whether that was down to me or not, but Coco is back. Lots of people mentioning him. Laporte, January transfer window now, says Trovo, no chance. And Henrik Sweden says putting in Ashley before Timber as right back is like putting Fellaini in. And then Paul Proudy says Fellaini was a panic buy by Moyes when he couldn't get checked from Barca. He isn't a defensive midfielder. I cringed when he came on against Everton. You know what? Fellaini's the big one for me. It really does cause me a lot of frustration and stress because I just do not want to. He's crap. He's never going to. Even if you like Fellaini, he will never be a Manchester United quality player. And I'll guarantee you, the minute we get rid of him, our fortunes will improve because he can't be part of the squad, the bench, or anything. The day he leaves Manchester United, I will dab for you, and I hate dabbing, but I will. Ashwin, you need to. I know I'm trying to get Ashwin on because he tries every night. We do the Skype Goldbridge. I see his name pop up when we're in the middle of a call, and then when there's an opportunity to come on, he doesn't. Although I can see his name there now. You're on, mate. Ashwin, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mark, I can hear you.
Hello. You've been trying to get on for a while. What did you want to say, pal?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to present a tactical analysis of our game against Everton.
Okay.
What I saw in the defense was that Rojo had a very poor positional sense and he was dragging the whole defensive line backward. And this created a lot of space between our defense and our midfield, due to which our link-up play was not that good. And when Fellaini was brought on, I could see the decision Jose was trying to make. He was trying to basically pack the midfield so that we don't give them space. But what instead happened was they got the space and the players were giving out space to them just like anything. And we could see that at the end of the game because Daya was conceding a lot of shots.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting point you made about Rojo. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of Rojo anyway. I thought the tackle was atrocious. What's your thoughts on Schneidlin being left out? I know we've done Memphis to death, and I know a lot of people think what they think about that. But you mentioned Fellaini there. I don't know what your opinion is on Fellaini. I think a lot of people just don't want him near a Manchester United shirt, me included. But Fellaini goes as part of the Europa squad. Schneidlin doesn't. It looks like that's the end of Schneidlin. A lot of people think he hasn't been given a chance. What do you think about
that? What I think is that he just might not be doing it in the training because of which he's not able to get in the squad like Memphis. Because I don't know what's happening with Fellaini and why he's in the squad constantly. I mean, if he can be given a chance, Schneiderlin can surely be given a chance because at any day of the week, Schneiderlin is surely much better than Fellaini.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And just finally, January transfer window's coming up. Have you got any players? You mentioned Rojo. A lot of people think we need a centre back. Is there anybody that you've seen that you think United should or could get in January?
I mean, realistically, we could only get Van Dijk for this January. I mean, but if you're looking forward to bringing more centre backs, you could see the development of our youth players like Tonzebe and Roshan Williams being hindered by the summer because we already have a lot of deadwood in our squad.
Yeah, Van Dijk, I think Premier League proven. I much prefer him over Fonte. Thanks for calling, Ashwin. I'm glad you finally got through. I take it you're phoning from India?
Yeah, Mark, I'm phoning from India.
What time is it there at the moment? I'm just being nosy.
2:30 a.m.
2:30 a.m. That is dedication for you. Thanks for calling, Ashwin. Please do come and call again. And really good points. Thank you.
Cheers, Mark.
Cheers, thank you. 2:30 a.m. I tell you what, you know what? And somebody even commented on there saying, oh, you can tell Ashwin's from Manchester. What a load of rubbish. If you're from Manchester, great. You know what? Well done. Pat yourself on the back. If you go to games, pat yourself on the back. But don't ever come on saying that just because somebody's not from Manchester, they're not a fan. I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been supporting Manchester United all my life. I'm not from bloody Manchester. But I tell you what, anybody can come in here and I'll wipe the floor with them about opinion about Manchester United. Not because I'm better than them, but because I know the club as well as all you do, and I can give an opinion as well as anybody else, as all you can. It does not matter where you come from. It is absolute rubbish. You get people like Ashwin, you get people phoning in from America, you get people phoning in from all over the world, and they're watching Manchester United at 2:30, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. That's real support. If you live in Manchester and you're lucky enough to get a ticket and go half an hour down the road to watch a football match, there is no better. There is no better. You're all Manchester United fans, and I get really annoyed when United fans start taking a pop at other United fans. You don't get points for how good a fan you are. You're no better fan if you go to games. You're no better fan if you go to Manchester and you're from Manchester. And the only people who say that are insecure idiots who think that they have a right to be better because of some bigoted opinion. And it is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. If you withdrew all the United support that comes from outside Manchester, outside the UK, and Manchester United would be playing in Vauxhall Conference, and they'd be playing Gary Neville's team on Saturday because they wouldn't have any money, they wouldn't have any fans. You ain't got enough in Manchester, so roll on. Let's take another call. I'm going to get Sander on because he has been trying since the very start. Hello, Sander. Can you hear me?
Evening, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much.
Anything you normally have something to say without me prompting you? What you got?
Yeah, I was just going to say on the Mourinho topic on how long he's going to stay here for. I'd give him like you 2 years. For me, he can finish 8th, and I'd still keep him this year. The thing that makes me say that is the fact that we are playing good, exciting football. If we were playing dire football like the last 2 years of Van Gaal, then I'd be slightly more concerned, and it's not enjoyable to watch. But we are creating chances, we're just not putting them away, and for me, gives me a hope for the future. So for all these United fans saying Mourinho out, we just want results, we don't care about the performances. Tell you what, for the last 2 years, you've been saying you wanted performances and not results. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. You're contradicting yourself. So I'd give him much longer. On the topic of January, I'd say I don't want to bring anyone in. Because, for example, if we bring Van Dijk in, then what does that do for Twanzebe's chances? So that means he's got Bailly, Smalling, Blind, Van Dijk, and that's already 4 people ahead of him. What does that do for his chances? For me, right, if the season's not going very well and we want to concentrate on the Europa League, I'd maybe give Twanzebe a chance and blood through the youth, which is so called, in our DNA. And that's what I do. Same for Fosu Mensah. I was debating, I'd like to bring Matuidi in. Hypothetically, he's not going to come because he's got Champions League football. But, it'd be a good signing. Then I was thinking, what about Fosu Mensah? What's that going to do for his chances? It means he's got Carrick, Matuidi, Pogba, and he's got all these players ahead of him. Let give them a chance and actually see what they can do. Maybe they'll be the person to save our season, a bit like Rashford did last year. You have to take a chance on these players. You can't just keep buying people in and say, I'll give them 10 minutes at the end. It doesn't work like that. You have to rely on them, trust in them. And, if they fail, then you say, look, I hold my hands up. At least I gave them a chance. But you've got to get to that point for me, anyway. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's a good point. Forget what I was going to say now because I was reading the live comments. The reality is with United, I don't really understand what the negativity around Mourinho is, but I do have a concern about the youth. You mentioned Twanzebe there. I don't see him using him. I'm quite surprised and optimistic that there is no right back in the team tomorrow apart from Fosu Mensah for me. It doesn't mean he won't play Ashley Young there. But I don't know where you sit on that. I think Fosu Mensah has to start tomorrow and I'd start him as right back. I know everyone says he's got to play defensive midfield, but that's not going to happen. He's going to have to start as a right back and work his way in. But if he picks Ashley Young tomorrow at right back over Fosu Mensah, I would have major concerns because you're picking a young lad who's ready and better than Ashley Young, or you're picking somebody in their 30s who's got no future at Manchester United. And that, for me, is quite a symbolic thing tomorrow. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, well, just on the topic of bringing a right back in as well, I completely disagree. Valencia's been, I at the beginning, when I first did my first ever call-in, I said, we're tricking ourselves into thinking Valencia's this great right back. But to be honest, he's been one of our best players this season. So why fix it if it's not broken? So he's playing well at the moment. I'd keep him in. I'd keep him going. See how long he can go for. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Fosu Mensah has to start at right back and work his way in, get some game time, get the feel for the Premier League. You can't just jump in and be expect to start every game at centre mid. It's quite a pivotal role, and as we've seen with Carrick, how much we miss him. It's quite an important role, so you can't just expect him to do amazing jobs there. Like, I agree with you with starting at right back and then progress him through.
One of the previous calls had mentioned, I don't think I'd said it, but they did say it and I wanted to pick up on it as well. I think it's fantastic that Michael Carrick's not part of the squad tomorrow. It's exactly what we've been saying for a long time. Give him a rest, play him on Sunday. Valencia as well. I would like us to sign a right back, or I've been saying it for a long time, but actually I think he's been so good, you've got to find him a place in the team at the moment. So yeah, we probably don't need a right back. So they're two real positives. Obviously we've spoken about Memphis so many times, but Schneidlin, not part of the squad. I thought he'd be part of the squad. for the Europa League. There's no reason why he couldn't be part of the squad. We've took a 19-man squad. We could have took a 20-man squad. There's no reason not to take Schneiderlin. And we've taken Fellaini. I mean, is that the end of Morgan Schneiderlin at Manchester United?
I think it has to be. If he's not in the Europa League squad and he's not in the squad for the Premier League, that says everything for me. You can say, oh, he's got to work his way back in. He's not going to be able to do that without getting the chances. So for me, he's gone. Just on Fellaini, I just want to say I've never exerted that much physical force after a football match. I don't condone violence, but when he gave that penalty away, I had this plastic wash basket. It's not there anymore. I'll give you that much. I went absolutely mental. I know it's not his fault. Well, it is his fault, but it's based on Mourinho. It's Mourinho's decision to put him in. Like you said, he is what he is. But I went absolutely mental, and you're lucky I didn't come on Monday night because I think I would have broken the stream. So I was going absolutely mental. We need to. I agree with you. I don't want to see him in a training shirt. I don't want to see him in a bib. I don't want to see him at all. I want to get him out of the club. And I just think it would be a massive shame if someone was just to leave him in Ukraine. To be honest.
Thanks, great points as ever, Sander, and I know you'll be on again, but thanks very much for coming on.
Cheers, Mark. Cheers, Night.
Cheers, pal. It just reminded me actually when he was talking about that. For anybody who was watching the watch along on oh god, what have I just done? On Sunday. I watched it back 2 days ago. I need to put the clip up on Twitter or something actually. And I'm not going mad. I'm quite reserved like I am on the watch along. And I was like, this substitute really concerns me. Fellaini coming on, us shutting up shop. Maybe Mourinho knows what he's doing, but I'm really concerned. Fellaini's just given a penalty away. It was like literally like that. And we all knew it was coming. And it will happen again. Squire7 says, was this caller in relation to Sander in Biker Grove? Sander's about 19, 18, something like that. If he was in Biker Grove, he'd be about 40, wouldn't he? Be older than me. Mourinho needs to remember that Zlatan will be 37 next season, says Tyrone Williams. And Cheese on Toast 123, just because it's a great name, says if you could bring a realistic player in January, just one, who would it be? You know what? I never thought I would say this, but it actually probably would be. I don't think we need any strikers because we've got Rashford. He just needs to use him, or Martial. He just needs to use him up front. I don't think we need any midfielders this year because I want top quality in the summer. So for me, it's either a wide man, which I think, again, do we need a wide man at the moment? It's got to be a dominant centre-back. I think that's where United, if you look back at United over this season, we are struggling because we haven't got a dominant centre-back, whether it's when we've got a corner or when our opposition are putting crosses into our box. So I would go and get a dominant centre-back in the air because Bay's going in January. I'd spend 40 million on Manolas. He is so good in the air. That's what I want. People say, oh, he's got these issues, he's got that issues. He's dominant in the air. And if there's a centre-back out there who's like that, I would go that for them. I personally only know Manolas, Howardez, Van Dijk potentially. I don't rate him that much in the air in relation to domination. But that's what I think we need. That is what we need. And I've been going on about Manolas for a long time, and I bet he'll end up at Chelsea because Chelsea seem to be making good signings at the moment. Not that we're not, but Conte's got that Italian link, and it's a bit of a shame because I would like to get him. I really would. I'm going to be telling you very shortly how you can get a free Manchester United retro shirt. That will be done at the end. But George Kyle, Manolas, Mark, if only one. Mark, we need Varane, says 313 Menace TV. Not going to happen though, is it? Bay and Manolas equals beast, says Katorga HD, which I agree with. I'm going to take a call. I'm just having a look if we can get somebody who's never been on before. Let's try. I thought I'd hit there. Rory's trying to come on again. I might try and get Rory on just to say thanks for coming on because I don't know how he got broke up. But Mohammed, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Can't hear him.
Hello.
Hello, Mohammed, can you hear us? I thought I could hear someone saying hello there, but obviously not. Right, let's try Joey Keane. Joey, can you hear me? Hello, Joey? Some people phone in and they don't take the opportunity. Let's try Christopher. Christopher, can you hear me? Oh, that was a shame. He was. I think I don't know whether he just hung up just as I was hitting that. Oh, sorry about this. We've never had a bad run like this before. We're not getting people, and a lot of these have phoned in before. Oh God, it's so difficult. Let's kill that one. There he is. Let's try Christopher again. Christopher, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Mark.
How are you doing?
Yes. I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for asking. What was it you wanted to talk about?
I want to talk about the Mourinho incident you had in the beginning.
Okay.
I think that he got a lot of deadwood into his squad, so that he wants to get rid of, and that's the situation. He doesn't trust a lot of players in that squad. What do you think of that?
Sorry, I was just reading a live comment then. Very rude of me. You was on about Mourinho, and then what? Sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of deadwood. We can agree on that. I think that he doesn't trust a lot of the players in the squad. What do you think about that?
No, I totally agree. I mean, on paper, Morgan Schneiderlin is a Premier League proven midfielder. He doesn't get any game time. He must not. I think the nail on the head with that point is, I don't know what you think, is the fact that he uses somebody like Fellaini over. And last Sunday was a prime point. Schweinsteiger could have been on the bench. He played 10 minutes. He'd done quite well. He's not on the bench for the Everton game, and then Fellaini is. Well, everybody knows that Schweinsteiger is 100 times better than Fellaini, but he uses Fellaini. I mean, is that the sort of point that you're getting at, really? That
Yeah,
why is he using players like that?
Actually, yeah, that's the point I'm getting at. There's a lot of deadwood in the squad, and it's a lot of the players that he didn't buy that Van Gaal had bought this season. And like you said, I don't think there are quality Manchester United players. I think we need a more dominant center midfielder to take over for Carrick.
Have you got anybody in mind for that position?
Actually, I don't. Maybe for summer, but actually not at the moment. The only player I got that we could buy in the summer is a wing player. It's Yannick Carrasco from Atletico Madrid.
Yes.
He could play left and right, and he's both fitted. So I think that's a good contender.
Yeah.
We can't get him in the January transfer window because he's in Champions League with Atletico, but we can get him in the summer.
Yeah, and just very quickly, George Kyle has put an article on our website, the United Stand, about the Deadwood. So please do go and give that a read. I'll do the plug for him there. Just on the one of the other things I did want to talk about that we sort of had a recurring thing going through the show. We have sort of mentioned it. Mourinho, when it comes to the youth, I'm hoping that Fosu Mensah will play tomorrow. Do you think he should be using the youth a little bit more than he is, or are you happy that he's just trying to get the results to sort of, use experience?
In the first season, I'm happy with that he used experience, because we just have to get the results, and we've seen over the years that you can't get the biggest results with only youth players, but I would appreciate if he used more youth players through the ranks next season.
Yeah, me too. And a few people are saying, are you Louis van Gaal in disguise?
No.
You're not from Holland, are you? From Denmark?
No, I'm from Denmark, yes.
Yeah, see, I know these little subtle differences. But, very good call. Thanks for calling. I'd noticed that you've been trying to get in for a while. And please do call again.
Yeah, thank you. I would try to.
Thanks, Christopher.
Thank you.
Okay, what I want to do now is let me just close Skype for a minute because it's getting all over my page. Right, it's Christmas nearly. We're not decorated out for Christmas here yet because I don't think you should do it until 2 weeks before because I'm a traditionalist. We're not putting them up in the middle of November. Chris Hardwick makes a good point. We do need fast wingers to get crosses in for Zlatan. You're spot on. Christmas comes a little bit early to the United Stand tonight. We've managed to get hold of a deal. I'm not going to say who gave it to us, but good work. And if you look in the video description, this is how you'll do it. It's the second paragraph down of the video description. It says get a free United retro shirt. Don't go and click the link now. Do it when I finish because you won't listen to what I'm about to say. Basically, you can get a free Manchester United retro shirt. They've got a Champions League 99 one. They've got a 1983 Sharp Electronics one, which is the one I'm getting. And they've got a 1985 one. And then they've got some blue and white away one. I can't remember what year it's from. So they've got 4 to choose from. Basically, click the link. Unfortunately, you've got to be UK. I'm trying to sort one out for people outside of the UK, but you've got to be a UK resident. And if you like to bet and stuff like that, I think you just got to sign up for William Hill. They'll give you £25 worth of bets, but you get the retro shirt as part of the sign up. So I think it's a brilliant deal. I'm doing it myself, and we've put it on the website and we've tweeted it out a little bit. Get yourself a free United retro shirt. I mean, I can't be more fairer than that. If you're in the UK, do it. Obviously, I think you've got to be over 18 as well, but don't say we never give you anything. And on that point, we spoke about the Patreon web page which we've got, which is the sentence below that. Thank you. Some people have actually contributed to the United Stand. Like I say, there's a United podcast out there that's getting well over £1,000 a month from its viewers. So if people want to contribute and help the United Stand, we are independent and every little counts. That would be great. But the great thing about it is, thank you for those people who have signed up to contribute to us. However, I think one thing we didn't make clear last night is we've got to give something back to you. You get daily content from us every night at 8:30 anyway. But we are going to do something else. However, we will be dictated to by you. So get in the live comments and tell us what you think. But we've had a couple of ideas. One is that, if more people contribute to the Patreon for the United Stand, then we will certainly start doing more content for you. One thing that we've sort of been mentioned to is maybe we could do a weekly betting show, talking about odds and things like that. Another one is maybe we could do a weekly youth review, looking at the youth. Somebody, we did do a quiz before. People have mentioned that. So whatever ideas you've got, and some people have emailed us at soccerboxtv@gmail.com with ideas, or just put them in the live comments there. But thanks for all those people who have contributed through the Patreon page. It means a lot, and it makes it easier for us in the future. And also, if you want to get your retro shirt, you'd be mad not to if you live in the UK, really. Get a retro Manchester United shirt for Christmas. The links are in the video description. Sounds too good to be true, says Squire7. You know what? It isn't too good to be true, because all it is you're signing up with William Hill. They want your custom. It's an incentive to sign up to them. So there's no hidden agenda. And I'm getting the Sharps Electronic one because I've always wanted it. 1983 doesn't look the best one, but I've always liked those Sharps Electronic. I've got a white one. They're brilliant. Right. Let's have a look. Final whiz through some of the comments. Loan Watch, says Jesse Hitman. That's a very good idea. We could do a weekly Loan Watch. That's a good one. Adrian Smith says you should raffle off the shirt off your back for United Stand. We need a new defender, says Lee Dimmock. Loan Watch, I like the video, says Wasted. Angel Gomez. Marcus, is it really legit? Yes. I'm not going to come on the show and lie to you about this offer. The link is in the video description. You can read about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you do, go ahead. You don't have to pay anything out for it, anything like that. We could talk about United's history, says Tyler Hastings. We have done that before, but it never used to get that many views. But we were a lot smaller channel there. Speaking about the Babe, I know loads and loads about the Busby Babes, and all about the 60s and stuff, because that's what got me into the club. So, I could sit and do that, but I don't know whether people in the past, it's not been that popular. I am still answering. Everyone can get a shirt, says Jay Harrod. You've got to live in the UK. You've got to live in the UK, and they're probably only going to have about 100 shirts. So I don't know whether 100 of you do it. So if you're going to do it, I would get in there early. If 5,000 people in the UK do it, they're not going to give 5,000 shirts away. But I imagine only a certain percentage of people will sign up for it anyway. But I'd get in there early. That's what I would do. Not taking any further calls. No. Do a youth review, says Devils Van. And there was a comment in there. I just want to, hang on. I've got the time. I've got all the time in the fucking world. That's because of who I've been hanging around with today. We've been messing around, driving up the M1 today, messing around, doing Cockney voices, and it's all been all right. I'm having some of that. And with the F word in there, and it's stuck in my mouth, and I'm disgusted with myself for that. You could talk about football history. Mark, the blue stripe is from 1996. Yeah, I think it's blue with white with blue, something like that. But it's on that link. I should go and have a look at it, but I don't think it's got the year on there. There was one comment I really, really wanted to look at, but Thomas Williams says, I want people to sign up to the United Stand Patreon so I can buy Christmas presents. Yeah, you're right. Thanks, everybody. There was a comment on here that I really wanted to read out, and I can't find it anymore. Thanks for all those who've stayed. Quite a lot of you have. Mad Marcus has done a bit of research. So with the retro shirt thing, if you're in the UK, you've got to be in the UK, you can do it, and you get £25 worth of free bets with William Hill. So, you know, if you're a gambler, or you like a little flutter over Christmas, which I normally do, to be honest, but sounds like get a United shirt sounds good. I suggested you should some points to improve the channel. Please do check them. Mark says Navneet. I can't find this comment. All I would say is thanks everybody for watching, and it's a nice way to finish up anyway. The watch along, it's a 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow for Zoya. I'm excited. I think there's a symbolic thing we'll be talking about at 5 o'clock tomorrow, if you can join us when the team news comes out. Kickoff is at 6 o'clock, and we are playing in the Ukraine. It's a rubbish kickoff time. Join us when you can on the watch along. But however, 5 o'clock we'll be live with the team news. And I think there's going to be a symbolic bit of team news. If he puts Fosu Mensah in there, that's symbolic about Mourinho and his future at United. If he puts Ashley Young there, that is a concern, because you're picking somebody who's got no future, who's not as good as Fosu Mensah. So we'll see what happens with that. But thanks everybody for watching. Get involved in the links in the video description, that'd be great. But join us at 5 o'clock tomorrow, or at some point during the evening when we're live with the watch along. Thanks everyone for watching, and keep the ideas coming through. Comment below. Get. I know you can't when you're live, but come back in an hour's time when the comments have opened below and just type in some ideas. Go off and have a bath or a poo, and I'm naughty today, and have some think time, and then come back to this video and put it in the comments. Your channel, your thoughts matter. That's why we do Skype Goldbridge and all what we do. So have a think. You're part of it. Have a think of what you think is a good idea for the United Stand to be doing. That's all I ask. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all tomorrow night. Have a good day tomorrow, and we'll be back with the watch along tomorrow night. We've got to win it, I suppose, to finish top of the group. There is a bit of excitement, but for me, it's all about Fosu.